Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Friday afternoon and I called at my allotment. In all honesty, I've not been down for probably nearly a fortnight. You might be able to see from the puddles or pools, still been having a lot of rain. I had a number of medical appointments last week, and my normal Friday afternoon one took place yesterday because the nurse is on holiday, so I can spend a little bit more time here this afternoon. The road outside still flooded as usual. It's amazing, a couple of weeks go by and everything's just started. Got the sun behind me there, so I can't really see what's on screen. There's a lot of glare, but all the little weeds and things have poked through. It's nice to see a lot of growth or leaves coming up on this gooseberry. In fact, that's even the first little flower, I think, opening, or sorry, developing little buds. They'll become gooseberries to pollinate. So the other one there, this one that the camera's on now always was the most prolific bush. The one behind me was always kind of swamped, but they're having like a role reversal at the minute. It's never been so open, that one. Quite a lot of the raspberries have started shooting as well, leaves. Comfrey's coming back there. I don't know whether to get some of that manure and just put it over the top of the raspberries, but it's probably a bit fresh really for top dressing. Manure really needs, especially cow manure, needs to compost for a couple of years ideally. I'm not sure if that rabbit's still in here, what's left of the leeks, and that over there look like they're... I'll have to check the old video footage. They look a bit shorter than I remember, so might still be in. I do have an idea though for giving these tyres some rabbit protection. I don't know if I'll get onto that today or not, but hopefully anything we grow in these this year will be able to keep it rabbit free. I think this first sheet's pretty much where I want to leave it, but I still need to decide how I'm gonna... That one's folded over, so whether I put a big cut in it and fold it over again, or I'm not sure. So got a lot of kitchen waste with me to stick in the compost. I don't recall if they were leeks or onions, but they're doing quite well in that bucket. The rats pretty much left them alone. They've decimated these ones pretty much, but those got left alone, so I'll have to see what they develop into. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. Sunday afternoon, I'm in my greenhouse at home. Looks like all these garlic, these were like little bulbs that I saved from at the allotment last year. These have all come along a treat. Same with the ones in there. A little disappointed no more of these elephant garlic combs have pushed through. I've just had a rummage in one and they are rooting and that, they're just taking the time. Maybe bringing them out here while it was still a bit cold was too soon. The ones at the back look like they're doing alright. And the lemon balms look like they're picking up. I just give them a water and I just put a very weak sort of seaweed solution in. A bit of feed. I have to remember last time I showed these on camera, there was like a bit of a white dusty mould on the surface, which I put down to them being wood fibre. Well, if you look at that, that looks like grit, but it's not. Those are tiny little like fungal spores all growing on the surface, which is really weird. It looks like little stones or sand, but it's not. So I'm not sure what they're going to develop in. As I watered over it, you could see little sort of dust spores like lifting off and getting good job. I sort of went over with water really first, because that's drenched it down. Now the bag's upside down, but that is this, which I bought from Costco. Westland multi-purpose compost with John in. He's enriched with B13. But I tell you what, I don't believe that's been composted properly, or you can see a load in the bag as well. Well, you might not be able to, there you go. Where the bag's been opened and exposed to air, it's all growing in the bag as well. And this is all coming out of the wood fibre, because it's basically composted wood fibre, but it can't have been sterilised properly. Normally with compost, it's kind of cooked, it's heated to a certain temperature, which should kill all seeds and spores and everything. So if this is naturally growing stuff, then it's no way it was actually sterilised properly or been composted fully. And what's annoying me more is I bought a couple more bags of this because they had it on offer yesterday in Costco. So I was going to put in the raised bed above where I've buried my cat. So it'll do as being buried underneath. I won't use it as the sort of top dressing. But it just goes to show that must be absolutely riddled with either spores or the fact that the wood fibre hasn't broken down properly, and because they use bits of old log and things to grow mushrooms on. So essentially, like, I guess mushroom culture's starting to grow because the wood was still rotten and not fully composted or sterilised. So anyway, keep an eye on these, see how they go. But I'll have to get a little water. Oh, I've got one there, a pump sprayer, although that's got that soapy stuff in. If you get like spores or anything on your top of your compost, it's probably worth wearing like latex gloves or something, but I'd equally just get a spray thing and water mist over the top first, as it'll stop the spores rising. As you don't know, you probably don't want to be breathing them in. So I'm going to go out in the garden and start having a clear a couple of beds or something out there. Well, I need to build a raised bed actually, so I'll go and carry on with that. I'll bring you back in a bit. This is all the shop bought garlic, or you know, garlic you'd normally eat, but started shooting, so I planted it, and those just coming up at the back, that's elephant garlic, the cloves I planted for that. So quite a thick stem coming up. I need some taller supports now for the covering mesh, starting to buckle the leaves. I've got some stuff at the allotment I'll bring home to deal with that. It's nice to see they've all germinated anyway. Just hopefully keep the leek miner off them this time. That's the final raised bed assembled. I bought 6 of these originally, that was the last one I had to put together. So that's going to go across at the end there. Before I put it down, I need to just put a bit more soil under that membrane, raise that level a little bit, and then I'll put that down and I'll line it like I did with these with a weed membrane. You can see it underneath, and then I'll start filling it. Afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday evening, last week before Easter I think. So just called at the allotment after work. Quite impressed the way that rhubarb's picked up. That was all leaning over, so it's rehydrated a bit being sat in that puddle. It's rained most of today, everything's soggy as usual. It's like it never stops raining here. So brought a couple of tools with me. I've got an idea for making some sort of protection to go around these tyres, so I'm going to have a go at doing that. I've got in my car a tray of red onion seedlings and a tray of leek seedlings, which I got from local nursery at the weekend. I don't know if I'll get as far as planting any of them tonight, but if I can make some protection to go around these tyres, and at least if the rabbit or anything's still in here, it'll not be able to munch on the leaves. So I can't really, I'm sure these were taller before Christmas. I think someone's nibbled on them again, but the tips look sort of dry, so it's hard to say really. Some stuff over there. There is some so I paused the video then when a plane went over. I wasn't sure to restart it. So whatever all these are coming up here that are some kind of a, I think that'll be a leek or an onion that's gone to seed, the way they're all growing close together. So I might thin some of them out at some point, but for now I'm going to dig the chicken wire out and make some guards for these tyres, so I shall bring you back shortly. One down, a few more to make. So basically I had an old roll of chicken wire that I've had for years. I think I had it dug in at one point to form a burrow proof cage, so it'd probably be easy if you started with a new roll of chicken wire, but this is like 1 meter tall. So just sort of wrapped it round, made a rough cylinder and clipped it together with these little rings. Now using this tool, this is called a hog ring plier. It's basically, I think it's an upholstering tool. I'm not sure if it's an automotive upholstering tool. You load it up with like the rings which are open, a bit like a stapler, and each time you literally wrap it round the pieces you want to put together, squeeze the handles and it closes it to form an overlapping ring. So and I think these are zinc plated, these staples, so they should hold together quite well. So plan is to make one of these to go around each tyre really. Whether I'll get them all done tonight or not, I don't know, but we'll have a go, see how far we get. Brought the wrong pliers really for cutting the stuff. I should have brought some or I've got some spring loaded like side cutters. I brought some long nose pliers, the first ones that came to hand this morning. Not ideal, but these should obviously just lift on and off to get to the plants as you need to, but a bird might try, I guess, landing down the centre of it. You can always cut a cap, I guess, and put it over, but it should stop rabbits getting in anyway. So I'll carry on and see if I can make another one. That's the 4 of them made up, so they're ready for planting in next time, or perhaps later this week. Not sure which night it'll be down again. You get 8 strips of the I'm not trying to promote it necessarily, not sponsored by them or anything. That was just a tool I bought off everyone's favourite auction site. You get 8 strips of the rings with it, and I've used 1 strip. I think you get 400 rings with it, and I've used 1 strip doing these. So plenty left for repairing fences or anything. You know, if you join in chicken wire on a garden, on a boundary fence or anything, you could use them as well. So I pulled them. I don't know if they're leeks. I think they're probably leeks, looking how tall they are. Those are what have been in the greenhouse. These are the ones the rats pretty much left alone, so I'll leave, for the time being, I'm just going to leave them in that puddle. The compost was getting a little bit dry, so they can hydrate in there for a little while. So yeah, I'm quite pleased the way they've turned out. It's not taken that long either, about an hour maybe, make the 4 of them. So I might just fold a few edges over so there's no sharp bits. I mean, you could probably do that, just folding edges over, to be honest, without using the rings, but it makes them a little bit more permanent, so completely overlaps it onto itself. So hopefully that should keep some furry creatures out. Or the ones that like munching on onions and stuff anyway. So I think next time I'll rearrange these sheets a bit, try and cover some more of that area, fill that gap, and then I think rather than putting a big cut in this sheet, I'm going to leave this one I'm stood on now folded double, I will turn that one right through 90 degrees and just put a small slit in it to overlap the base of this gooseberry and run it out sort of that way, and then pull another one out and sort of fill the gap again this way. So get this last bit of ground covered over. Still got a bit of this chicken wire left, so probably enough to wrap another couple of tyres, 2 or 3 tyres. I've not brought anything with me today, but look at all the bugs in here again. But that's dropping. That's probably, when I put the manure in, it wasn't far off the top, so that's probably dropped 5 or 6 inches, that manure. So I've got a few peelings at home, but I'll have a few more by the end of the week probably, so I'll bring them on Friday. Just coming up on 6:30 now. I'm gonna wrap up and head home. Bloody midges are out in force. First time I've seen them this year. They're tiny little things that bury their head in your arm and draw blood. Even sat in the greenhouse, they're mithering me, so hopefully we'll have a frost tonight or something and just polish a few of them off. That's the trouble, once the weather gets warmer, all the less desirable bugs come out to play. So I say, calling it a night for today. Cheers for watching, and I'll bring you back next time. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Thursday afternoon. I've called the allotment after work. It's Good Friday tomorrow. I should have gone straight home because it's absolutely I won't use that term, it's been raining hard all day. It's literally been raining for 24 hours. So the road outside's all flooded. I had this compost in my boot that I'd bought last week in Costco. This is the same stuff in my an earlier bit where I said it was growing mushrooms, so I'm going to stick them deep inside one of the tyres, and I'll cover it with something else, so hopefully it'll suppress the mushroom spawn. But I wanted to take them out my car, as it doesn't do miles per gallon any good carrying 160 litres of compost round in the boot. I also need to get in my boot tomorrow and top the AdBlue tank up, otherwise the computer will shut the engine off in 600 miles. So that needs topping up. I'm not going to do well, there's not a lot I can really do tonight. It's raining now. It's actually a little bit lighter. It was raining quite heavy before, but these have got a good soak now. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Saturday over Easter weekend. I've been in the nursery again this morning. The lady there very kindly sold me some. They buy their tomatoes in as plug plants and pot them up into the bigger pots, but she's kindly sold me some just as plug plants, which I can use for the hydroponics. I'll leave them like this for a day or two, but I've got some, like, they call it like a net basket, which is just a pot riddled with slots. So I'll put them into those with some like clay pebbles until I've got the hydroponic sort of pipe work set up at the allotment. This obviously is my greenhouse at home, so I bought a few of the sort of bigger plants as well. But I might, before these get potted up, as I still need to empty all the buckets in here, any sort of side shoots that come on these, if you let the side shoot get to a reasonable size, you can carefully snip it off and pot it up, and you'll get yourself a much faster plant than, you know, from seed kind of thing. So sometimes it's worth buying one of each variety that you want to grow and just leave them, let a load of side shoots form, and you can multiply your plants. And I'm talking side shoots at this kind of size or bigger, so instantly you've got extra plants. And if you look, I don't know if the camera will show it, every hair on a stem on a tomato is a potential root. So you've got an ability to propagate plants pretty quick. It's quite warm, although it's rained a lot yesterday. According to that temperature gauge, it's about 33 centigrade, about 90 Fahrenheit in the greenhouse today. the automatic window has actually opened. A little disappointed to see nothing poked through these yet. I was hoping these would be on the way to germinating like the ones at the back. Well, I know they've germinated, but actually rooting and starting to grow. So all of these are the little elephant garlic corms that should start growing something like that. They'll take a year or two to get to a little single bulb that's then big enough to plant out to grow a big elephant garlic. These other ones are all coming along nicely, so once I've got a bed prepared, maybe where the corn was in my back garden here last year or last summer, I might just fill it with these garlic next time. So a few more there. So I just watered the stuff in here. I've got a pot of kale seedlings. I've left them in the back of the car. They'll probably end up, I think they'll end up in one or two of the tyres at the allotment. I just noticed on this lemon balm before, I might have washed it off now we're watering it, but we've had something slimy on there munching on leaves, so to keep an eye on that. Obviously the slugs and snails are waking up. I usually have a frog living in here that takes care of stuff like that, but not seeing it this year yet. I don't know if frogs hibernate or what they do. So I shall carry on. I'll perhaps bring you back later. Good morning, welcome back to the channel. It's just coming up on midday, it's Easter Sunday. It's actually an hour later than I thought it was because I forgot the clocks went forward this last night or this weekend. I mentioned in the last video I was going to try and cut one of the side walls out. I did bring some tin snips with me, but I couldn't actually cut through the bead. There's like a lot of metal reinforcing in the actual bead, so I just ended up stabbing through with a pocket knife and get out the sunlight and just slicing round with a pocket knife. Proper I should point out UK legal folding non-locking pocket knife. So there's some strict laws in this country on knives, and if you're going to have one in your pocket, what size it can be and if it can lock or not. So managed that quite well. It's a very sharp knife actually. So I'm going to get some of the muck and empty some tomato buckets, but what a difference that's made. The planting area must have gone up 10 or 15% there. I'm not going to try and work it out, not got a tape measure with me or anything, but it has made a hell of a difference. Just left a little bit of a lip. I've also brought some self-adhesive copper tape with me. I might put a band of just copper tape around that top edge. There's apparently slugs and snails excuse me, slugs and snails have an issue with copper. That's the roller tape. It is designed for gardening. You can put it around the tops of pots and things like that. It's like self-adhesive. I think slugs and snails, those slimy things, when they pass copper, there's like an electrolysis effect. So they kind of make a battery out of themselves when they touch copper, and they don't like it. So if you've got anything in a pot that regularly gets eaten by slugs and snails, it can be worth putting a band of the copper tape round. Like I say, they supposedly can't crawl past it or can't crawl over it. It's a lovely day here, considering it rained very heavy on Good Friday. It wasn't too bad yesterday, and then nice again today. These are the seedlings I brought with me. These are a red kale or kalet. I wonder if that's some kalet. I wonder if that's some I think I probably picked the wrong thing there, but I think kalet forms like little kale Brussels sprout type things, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look it up. That one's Musselburgh leeks, English sort of traditional leek, and there's some red baron, a red onion. So I'm going to get the wheelbarrow out, get a barrow full of that muck. I'm going to put a couple of inches of that muck in the bottom of the tyre. I'll stick some of the empty tomato planter buckets in. I've got some bloodfish and bone and chicken manure and stuff in the shed. I'll throw a bit of that in, and I'll use some of that compost I got from Costco that likes to grow mushrooms. And I might I've had these tomato planters here since last year. I might just, the top sort of layer, put a bit of one of these on. So I shall bring you back shortly. So I've put a copper wrap around the edge of the tyre, and I put a couple of forkfuls of crap in the bottom. That's this, as it is now, obviously uncomposted. It's far too strong for plants, but a couple of scoops in the bottom, then covered in compost, it'll attract the worms, and that'll sort of break down and kind of fertilise what's in there for probably a year or two, really. Just a bit of top dressing with chicken pellets and bloodfish and bone, calcified seaweed, etc. Certainly seems to enjoy the flies, doesn't it? Crawling with flies, but if it gets them in there and off me, that's fine. Well, they're all horse flies actually, so don't really want them. But if they're occupied there, that one of them was just having a go on my shoulder. So I'll get some covering compost on that pretty quick, I think. So that's 3 of the emptied tomato buckets which I weeded out. All of them had a load of worms in anyway, which have obviously migrated in, and while the tomatoes were growing and overwintered there. And there's roughly half that bag of compost, probably another 40 litres of compost on top of 3 of them builder's buckets of compost. So I think half of one of them tomato planter grow bags in the top of there, then tamp it down, and that'll do, and that should work out perfectly then. Should have enough to fill all 4 tyres. So try and get at least a couple of them done today. Maybe do this one next, or one of the others. Just want to try and rearrange some of them sheets as well before I go today. So I'll get one of them planter bags open now and top that off. So that's half a bag of the tomato compost in the top, and I just used a rake end on, just going round in circles to sort of level it and tamp it down. Not a sponsor or anything, but if you've got limited room, I've had this stuff for probably 20 years, Wolf Garten, so everything's like the heads, it's all interchangeable. So I've got like a little hole there for a rake. There's all different attachments you can get. Say, I'm not a sponsor, I bought all this stuff myself. I've had all this probably 20 years. It means you just need one handle and a few heads, so if you don't have a shed or anything, it's a lot less sort of awkward tools you need to carry, just a few attachments and one handle. Not the cheapest in the world, but like I say, it lasts a long time. And I'm not sure if they've got a 25-year warranty, don't quote me on that. I have heard of, it's German, I have heard of Wolf replacing things that are broke years and years later. So I say for me it was worth buying at the time, just bought a bit every now and again, build up a collection. So I'm going to stick some red onions in here, then make a start on the next one. That's the red onions planted. I put the mesh cylinder back round now. Hopefully if the rabbit's still here, that'll stop it getting at them. A couple of randoms in there as well. If you remember, in the greenhouse as well as them, there was a couple of other pots with the odd survivor in from the rats, so I've pushed them in as well. We'll soon see what they are as all these develop. I've planted the red onions in the clumps that they were sowing in. They will grow quite happily like that. It's like survival of the fittest. The bigger ones will grow first and they all push each other apart. You can carefully sort of twist the one off, and then if there's any underneath, they'll follow on and keep growing. You can grow quite a bit of stuff in a fairly small space. I would point anyone, there's a guy called Charles Dowding, has a YouTube channel, I've mentioned him before. He runs a market garden down south of southern UK, and he literally puts a 2-inch layer of fresh compost on all his beds every year, and rotates and gets 2 crops every year out of each bed. He has a no dig policy, and you know, he composts absolutely everything, makes several tons of compost each year to top up his beds, and he'll module sow 3 or 4 seeds to a cell for leeks and onions, and they grow quite happily. Have a look at his channel. So that'll do me for this one. I'm going to have a slurp of my coffee before it goes cold, and then I'll start cutting the next tyre. Bring you back in a bit. I know I said coffee, but I actually finished my coffee. I brought a like a flask with me. Started drinking a bit more tea. Never really been a big fan of tea, but surprising for an Englishman, like. But I read somewhere recently, in fact a YouTube video, obviously I've mentioned, like, I'm sort of looking at medicinal plants and things like that, and there's a guy, Dr. William Lee. He's got a couple of, again, not a sponsor, never met the guy or anything. I just bought one of his books. He has 2 books that are kind of Eat Yourself Healthy and Eat Yourself, one's to do with disease and one's to do with weight loss, I guess. So I just bought the first of his books, and it's to do with like healthy eating. And one of the things he said is, if you want to eat foods that help fight, say, cancer, tea is very good, but if you drink, you've got to drink it black without sugar, or you can put honey in, or and use like a nut milk. So whatever the good part is of tea, if you put sort of milk with it, dairy milk, that forms like a shell around the good bits in the tea, so they pass straight through your body without doing any good. And sugar internally is bad for you anyway. So that's basically tea with a squirt of honey in it to sweeten it, and then I've got almond milk in it. So if you use nut milk, you still get the benefit of the tea, and honey's much better for you than sugar. I wouldn't normally take sugar, but I do like just a bit of honey or something in tea just to hide the taste a little bit. Like I say, I'm not a big fan, but I don't mind drinking it if there's a health benefit to it. So that is actually tea with almond milk and a squirt of honey. So if you're a big tea drinker, either drink it black without sugar, drink it black with honey, or if you must have a bit of like milk in it, use a nut milk. Like I say, I tried coconut milk, but it just looks a bit too transparent with coconut milk. It's more like water with a pale tinge of white in it, coconut milk, whereas this almond milk does have a bit more sort of body to it. So I'm giving this a whirl. Give it a try yourselves. That's the second one planted up with the leeks in now. Again, just planted them in clumps. They'll happily push each other aside. I've even grown giant leeks in this manner before now. Probably try and grow some again this year if I can find the seeds. And again, like the onions, if you want, you can sort of, as they start thickening up, you can always peel off a few as baby leeks and leave the others to fill out the spaces. But I think they'll grow fine as long as that leek moth thing doesn't get hold of them again. So I did see last year you can buy like a pheromone trap which attracts the male, but I've got a bit of this like that netting that's I think there's some new in the shed, but I've certainly got some. There's some on top of the water butt thing over there. That's like Agrolan netting. It's that small that the carrot fly can't get through it, and they kind of commit suicide trying to get through it to your carrots. So that should easily protect moths and things from them. So I can always wrap some of that around them and put a cap on if I have to. Light and water still gets through, but it'll stop insects. I run out of the copper tape on this one, so obviously one roll won't quite do 2 tyres. Probably would have done if I hadn't cut the centres out, smaller diameter. But I've got some more at home. I can bring some next time. Don't know if the camera will see it. Just flies that are all gathering around that. Funny though, they're not all over it as a pile of manure over there, but when you bring a barrow full onto your allotment they all appear. So what time is it now? 3:15, so I think rather than trying to get another one done just yet, I might try and rearrange some red sheets, see if I can get that last sort of square covered and this rearranged a little bit. So gonna want to have a bit more of my tea, then I'll have a go at that. Just while I've been sat here drinking my tea, if you remember from an earlier video, that's where the rats or some creatures have chewed away through. So hopefully soon I'll get this wooden perimeter switched out for a new one in the next week or two, hopefully. But I just while I was sat here having a drink of my tea, just ordered a roll of well, it's advertised as stainless steel mesh, roughly 1/2 inch squares. It's 8 inches wide and 10 meters long. So when I cut the new timbers to go around here, I'm just going to staple that mesh around the inside. I'll zoom back out. I'll staple it all the way around, and then hopefully anything that tries chewing through again in the future will get a couple of blunt teeth once they hit that wire. So I'm guessing it'll probably turn up as galvanised or something, but it is advertised as 304 stainless steel, so be interesting to see. It's due to turn up tomorrow, Easter Monday. They're still delivering, so I'll be doing a bit of work in my garden at home tomorrow, hopefully, if the weather's okay. So I want to try and get that raised bed situated finally and start filling that. Anyway, I'll bring you back in a bit. But I think that'll be a wrap for today. It's getting on for about 4:20. So these two are obviously planted. I think I'll leave that third tyre roughly in the middle there, then I've got access to the fruit canes. Push that there for the time being. I'll probably bring it back a little bit in between the two gooseberries. I've turned that left sheet round and put a bit of a split in it to wrap around the base of that gooseberry. Dragged another sheet out and put it around the base of that one. Still got 1 or 2 left there, so a bit more sort of ground to try and cover over. The wind's picked up quite a bit now and gone quite sort of grey and overcast, so I suspect there's a storm approaching pretty quick. The temperature's dropped a fair bit as well, so I'll leave them back in my car to come down next, probably Tuesday after work. I've pushed the wheelbarrow over there and put a plastic sheet over it and put another wheelbarrow upside down on top so it doesn't get waterlogged. So I'm just having a bit of a quick tidy up. I'll put my tools away. I want to drag some of that blue I think it's HDPE water pipe, drag some of that out and take home with me. So I shall bring you back tomorrow when I'm at home. Cheers for watching. Happy Easter. I just said Happy Easter then, and I just realised by the time I edit this and get it online, Easter would probably been 2 or 3 weeks ago. So I'll rephrase that. I hope you all had a good Easter. While I was moving these sheets before, not a rat but like a vole or a field mouse or something shot out from under one of the sheets, run across this one and ducked in under that roll of chicken wire down there. So there's still plenty of creatures floating around. One of them could probably get through this chicken wire and eat these onions and leeks. I don't know if they go for stuff like that, but hopefully not. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Tuesday after Easter. I've already filmed one bit, but it didn't work. I don't know why. So this is obviously the ones I did on Sunday when I was down. They look like they're all doing okay. They're all stood up straight, none are keeled over, which is a good sign. They were the leeks. These are the red onions. Again, they're looking fairly happy. It had an absolute pour down yesterday, so I probably got drenched. I've cut the next or the third tyre out, so I'm going to get I'll get a couple of bucketfuls of muck or something, put it in there first, and then I'll start filling this one up the same as I did these others. I brought the K-let with me again, but I left it in my car, so hopefully get some of these planted before I go this evening. It's about 5:30 now, it's getting a little bit chilly, so get a crack on and get on with these. Bring you back in a bit. That's number 3 planted up. That's the K-let. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to do. I don't know how big the grow needs. I do need to look it up, but put all 9 in there for the time being. They should grow alright even if you harvest them a bit small, but getting them in early is the main thing, so they don't get all dead leggy. The nursery I get them from, they harden them off outside already, so these were growing outside when I picked them up. So we'll see how they develop. So I'm going to stick my tools away now. It's about 6:15, so just going to sit with my coffee for 5 minutes. Got some soap somewhere, wash my hands, and then I'll head home. So probably call again tomorrow after work, see what the weather's doing. I'm not sure what the forecast says. It's looking quite grim and overcast. Probably can't see it there, but quite grey. There's the old obligatory plane coming through the clouds, or into the clouds. I don't know if you can see that on the camera yet. Yeah, just about. So that's it for me for today. I'll bring you back tomorrow. Cheers now. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Saturday afternoon. I called at the nursery again this morning. There was all those, obviously the tomatoes I got last week and the plug plants for the hydroponic system. I got 3 peppers. Well, one's a chili, one's a large red bell pepper, and one's like a snack red pepper. Nothing against the other colours, but something I sort of read recently. Red peppers have got more properties in them that are health beneficial. So I'm just going to try growing some red ones this year. The elephant garlic, there's 6 of them have finally, I think it was 6, yeah, 6. Have finally poked through. So hopefully the others won't be far behind, but say these will there'll be a couple of years before they develop a bulb big enough to plant out to become a full-blown elephant garlic. They take 2 or 3 years in the little pots just developing. So lemon balms are looking okay. These other I think they were garlic, they were possibly self-sown, but I harvested them from the allotment, so these are probably on their 2nd year in reality. They were small, like marble sized bulbs when I saved them. Some more there. They're in just like a 9-section seed tray. I got a couple of other things from the nursery. I'll insert a picture. I'm leaving them outside for the time being. They're already hardened off. I've got 3 different varieties of thyme. It's a pity the pictures don't give a smell, because the 2 of them are versions of lemon thyme, and the aroma that comes off it's unbelievable. I also got a little pot of wild garlic, and I got a courgette which I'll take up to the allotment, and I got like I got the onions and the leeks, I got a tray of Brussels sprout seedlings and a tray of green pointy cabbage called hispy. So they'll obviously be going in up at the allotment in the tyres. I might get some in these beds down here if I get them all sorted. Got to concentrate a bit now, I think, trying to get the greenhouse at the allotment repaired, get the wooden base changed out, and then build the hydroponic thing. I've priced up all the plastic tubing. I should be collecting that next Saturday. I've bought all the sort of timers and the electronics because of the way I'm doing it, and it's not going to drain naturally back to the holding tank. I need to use 2 pumps, so I've worked out a way of doing it, and I've got a couple of float, or what they call float switches, so if the levels, if it gets too high, the fill pump will cut off. If it gets too low, the drain pump will cut off, so none of them end up running dry or anything. Little relay block and the timers, the pumps. The only thing I need to find is a battery, and I think I've got a spare car battery in the garage, or an old leisure battery I had in a boat years ago. I think I've still got that, so if it charges up, that could be usable. Got the solar panel. I need to get some cable, some wire, but hopefully in the next well, say over the course of this month, I should hopefully get that thing built and running, but just in time for the tomatoes. These I really need to get these in the little basket pots with the clay pebbles and that, so they can grow a bit. They could end up getting a bit stunted in here. If you look how much these have grown since the nursery got them all delivered at the same time, so they were put in the bigger pots, and they've grown, you know, 4 times the size of them. Seems wherever I am there's always aircraft going overhead. So that sounds like a helicopter, in fact. So just a quick update. I don't know if I'll make it to the allotment tomorrow. I want to try and finish this raised bed in my garden here, just above where I buried my cat. Get that finished off and get it sort of filled with as much compost as I can find. I've got some I've actually got some outside stored in an old wheelie bin, I think, as well, that from another year, so hopefully I'll be able to get a fair bit of compost in. I might plant all the thymes and certainly the wild garlic and stuff like that in that raised bed. So that's it for now. I shall bring you back next time. Cheers. Just cut a couple of pieces off this blue pipe and fitted them in the garlic bed. Might stick another one in yet, spread them out, put one in the middle. I've got some new netting in the house as well, which when I do all the beds, I'll treat them all to new netting. That's not clean. This is a bit green now through a couple of years use, but it should stop all the bugs getting to the garlic, unless they find the holes. So next time I'll sort of weed this bed out and do the same for that. Get any of that cat crap out that might still be in there. I did see a cat one day actually as I was in the garden. It just, bold as brass, just sort of jumped down off the fence and walked right past me. Only a little thing. Don't know if that's the culprit or not. There's quite a few cats knocking about. Welcome back to the channel. That's the road outside the allotment. It's been raining again. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's Thursday evening. When I got here it was about 18 degrees, dry, nice and pleasant, and I no sooner got here and the heavens opened up. What would one of my videos be if it wasn't raining, eh? So brought these cabbage, at least they're getting a bit of a drink out here. Brought the cabbages and the sprouts back, but not been able to do anything. It's just lightening up a bit now, but it's been raining quite heavy again. So I'll be putting these back in my car, no doubt, and in a soggy cardboard box. I never thought of that while I was sat in the greenhouse. So I should be back tomorrow again after work, but everything looks like it's doing. Leeks are doing okay. The kaleets are coming along nicely. Red onions are doing okay. It's like the black currants are developing little flower heads. Comfrey's coming on. Gooseberries are coming on. We've had a bit of a storm here in the last few days, some quite heavy winds and hell of a lot of rain, roads all flooded. I did come here the other night, earlier in the week. I did video a bit, again didn't get anything done. Come through the gate and the water table was that high, all the path was flooded, behind the gate was flooded. I was carrying this box and not paying attention and stepped straight into a puddle and got my feet soaked. So, of course my feet, legs are bandaged up and stuff like that, so I didn't hang around. I even climbed over the fence and went through my neighbour's and I exited through his gate, so I didn't have to go through the puddle again. So with any luck it'll be a bit better tomorrow. I'm probably going to come down on Saturday because I need to trim all the way around the base of here, and then a friend of mine's coming over on Sunday, meeting me here, going to help me replace the wooden base underneath. It's all rotten, so if I get it all sort of trimmed and cleared and dragged back, I'll probably scrape all the stones back a bit and expose the edges as well. So I don't think there's many screws actually holding the greenhouse onto the wooden frame, but I say I've shown in the video before, there's a nice access hole down there where creatures have been coming in and out. Show it again there. Made their own little doorway, so I'll got some stuff in my car I need to take out and try and remember put a saw in my car, so I'll have to cut the wood down a bit, but I shall get the wood tomorrow. I'll pick up all the pipe I need for the hydroponic on Saturday morning as well. So had a quote from a place, so I couldn't get there last week in time to collect it. They shut midday on a Saturday, so I shall pick that up on Saturday. Just gonna wait out here a little bit longer. I noticed I come over the top of the motorway to get here and I noticed it was all backed up, so let the traffic die down a bit and hopefully the rain will die down a bit too. So I should possibly bring you back before I go. Got a bit of a web weaver making a home. So the rain has finally stopped. It's about 6:30 now, so I'm just gonna head home now. Hopefully the weather will be a bit better tomorrow and over the weekend, so I shall bring you back tomorrow. Cheers for watching. Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's Saturday afternoon. I'm at the allotment and as you might have guessed, it's raining. Picked up the tube I'm going to use to make the sorry if I'm talking loud, I've got earplugs in. This is the tube I'll be using to make the hydroponics. The elbows and bits are still in the back of my car. Just come down to start exposing round the base of the greenhouse ready for tomorrow. So just trim the weeds back and bare the earth back a bit, peel these tiles away, see what's left behind. So I'll bring you back in a bit. You might be able to hear it hammering it down again. Bloody weather's doing my head in. You know, it rained this morning, so I waited. I was late getting here, and it stopped raining. A little bit breezy. Sun came out, so I thought, great, head over. Here about half an hour, heavens have opened up again. So I shall sit this out for a little while. We'll see what happens. At least it's Saturday, so there's no major traffic or anything. So I shall bring you back in a bit. Well, the rain stopped, sun's out, it's a bit chilly. It's gone 7 o'clock now. I've dug along this side, so I just need to lean them tiles back or lift them out. So when I originally did it, kind of dug roof tiles, old roof tiles in. I don't think there's any round the back, I don't think I had enough. But the idea being that if anything tried to burrow in, it'd hit a tile before it got under and into the greenhouse. but I think they only pretty much wrapped around this two sides and a little bit around the other side, so the bit where the et through was actually exposed. But I'd put a double layer along this edge, so maybe I'll put a single layer next time and I'll have room to go up this side again. We shall see. Lots of vineweed rooting there, needs ripping out. So I've lifted that flagstone. I don't remember, I could have sworn I put them all in line, but obviously with time and stuff that it's maybe slipped, or I never actually fully sank it in. So I think I'll be back early in the morning before my mate turns up, and I'll just dig this out and clean that back corner out first, and then we're in with a fighting chance. Morning folks, it's about 7:30 AM Sunday morning. I've come the allotment a bit early, got a load of gear with me. Obviously going to be working on my greenhouse, redoing the base. So my mate's due at about 9 o'clock, he's coming to give me a hand. I've still got a little bit of the prep work to finish off. It's a rather nice morning, sun's coming up through the trees there. A little bit cool, a little bit damp, but I think it's going to be a nice day. I run out of fuel yesterday, had to get my jerry can filled. Must be 5 years since I last filled that, and just, you know, the odd times I've been using the strimmer or something. So finally run out yesterday. Right, I'm going to get my wellies on and I'll make a start and bring you back shortly. This timber frame is a lot more, it's pretty much rotten all the way around. I'm not even sure what's holding the greenhouse down. As I've been sort of opening it up round the sides, it's all just falling apart. So it was well due a new frame underneath, so I'm still just peeling the inside back so I can get to the edges. I don't think we'll even need a screw. Well, might be there's a few screws hold the metal frame onto the wooden one. Not many, but there's nothing really holding the wooden frame together now. It's absolutely rotten. So hopefully them new ones will last a few years. I don't know what the solution is otherwise, other than make a metal one, and I can possibly do that, buy some metal from work and make up a frame. So just gonna have a slurp of my coffee and I'll carry on with this. I shoved the greenhouse off to one side to expose the outside. Got 2 of the new planks in so far. So what we'll do then is lift the greenhouse and overhang it this way, and then sort the other 2 out. It's all coming together. Greenhouse is anchored down. Put the wire mesh around the wood. Spread the tiles out as best we can. Only got enough for 3 sides. I'll finish the inside off another day. Get the barrier back spread out and get the stones raked out. I think there's quite a few places the rodents had been coming in. There was rotten all over. So, but that's one job nearly done. Got a bit of old metal conduit cover I'm just going to put in along the bottom of there, and then backfill all that. So getting there. Gone a bit quicker than I anticipated actually. Theoretically tidy up time now, try and get it back to some sort of order, but I'm tempted to leave this till tomorrow when I call after work, because it's bound to be raining. So I might try and get that last tyre filled that I cut the rim out of, So I've got some plants in my car that could do with getting planted, so tidying my tools and stuff away, and I think I'll try and get some stuff planted before I leave. Still got some stuff I need to be doing at home, so I think I'll sort that tyre out next. That's 5 of the Brussels sprouts and 4 of the hispy pointed cabbage, so I think that'll do for that one. So 1 sprout in the middle and another one sort of north, south, east, west, and pointy cabbage in between. That should probably fill out quite nicely. I'll not today, but I'll maybe set another tyre up and plant the rest in the other tyre. So tools that are going home with me are back in my car. Still got some stuff to put away here. I like to get that wood back under covers. It's nice and dry, don't it, getting wet. So just going to finish my coffee off. Just noticed these nice little gooseberries forming on all these now. Some of them are quite big. So tearing away this thing is. Still getting a bit of weed and stuff coming up around the base, a couple of nettles, so might have to peel that back and try and do something about them, but at least overall it's suppressed. Gonna need to carefully strim in them in here, I think. It'll be interesting to see how quick they pick up. So I'll say, just gonna finish my brew for the minute. That's big bumblebee there. Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday evening. My prediction was right when I said when I was leaving the allotment yesterday, it'll probably be raining today. You might be able to hear it. So I just wanted to check on the plants in the greenhouse. I've not been down here for a few days, so give them a bit of a water. Had a slug or a snail been munching on these peppers. I did put some slug pellets down last week. No more of the elephant garlic combs have poked through yet. There's a spider there. So he's chasing an insect. There you go, got him. Pity there isn't slug eating spiders. Well, there probably is somewhere, but whether we'd want them in the UK or not's another question. So the lemon balm's looking like they're doing pretty good there. These other garlic bulbs are all coming up. Just wish a few more of these would show through. And that looks like the tip's dying off. I hope it's not because of that dodgy. They're not looking very happy actually. Dodgy compost. Or stick my hand in there. There's a big spider's web across the bag, so I won't disturb it. So there's not a lot I can really do in the garden today. I just wanted to make sure these weren't drying out. One night this week I'll try and get these in their the pots for the hydroponics. The pots I've got are a very similar size to this, but they're just riddled with slots. So I'll be putting them in with some clay pebbles and a little bit of like a wicking string at the bottom, because they won't touch the bottom of the tubes that they'll form the main part of the hydroponic. That sort of terracotta coloured plastic tube I got, and it isn't like a flood type one. It'll flow nutrients fast and they'll wick up what they need. So just check under there, make sure there's no slugs or snails hiding. I might swap the ends for them actually. It's like the right hand end of the tray holds a bit more moisture, or holds it for longer, so I set the plug plants in here. Bring the tomatoes up to this end. Sounds like I'm going to get soaked just going back to the house. I think we're in storm territory again in the UK. I'm sure there's meant to be certainly very high winds tonight. It has rained quite heavy during the day, on and off. Dry and sunny-ish as I was driving home from work, but this is the sort of second shower since I've been home. I'll probably propagate a few side shoots off these other tomatoes, and I want about 9 plants in here, I think. So I might just buy a couple more not far off there anyway. 2, 4, 6, 8. Only need one more plant really. The nursery may have some other varieties in by now. So I think I'll use this opportunity where I can't do much to see if I can get some videos edited. I've not posted anything for a while. Keep recording stuff but never seem to get round to editing and posting. So on that note, I think I'll head back in the house and see if I can get another video up and posted. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I left work before and I thought, nice blue skies where the allotment is, I'll take a chance. I drove through a hailstorm from work to here. Obviously it's been here first. That's about 4 inches deep in there. It's all waterlogged, so I'm gonna give it a miss. I'll just let the traffic die down a bit. I noticed the motorway was stood still, and then I shall head home. Even the road outside the allotment, it's just a river at the minute. It's amazing, people that are charging through. Someone will kill their engine before long. Good afternoon, welcome back to the channel. It's what day is it? Wednesday. We're in the second half of April now, or mid-April I should say. I ordered some strawberry plants. So those are one called Colossus, which grows a monster strawberry apparently, and these are some called Sweet Summer. These are just what they call bare rooted, so I need to get them in some water so they'll start sprouting. The plug plant ones I'm just going to put in a tray for a few days, then hopefully I'll get that hydroponic thing on the shed running again for these strawberries. That's my plan anyway. I got to the allotment tonight. It's been dry all day, been sunny, and literally I pulled up and it started raining, but it was just a very quick shower. Still pretty muddy behind the gate, but able to get in and out. So these leeks look like they're quite happily growing. The kale have come on again since last time. Red onions doing okay. And these are the Brussels sprouts and hispy pointed cabbage, which I planted on Sunday. So they're just sort of waking up again now from being in the tray. They should start motoring along very soon. Plenty of little gooseberries forming on these 2 plants. So my task, or my job initially this evening. I had an idea for here actually. I'm going to lift these tiles along the front. I've got some metal sheets I'll push in along the front, and I'll put the tiles round the back, and might dig out just a little bed along here for planting things like monarda, bee balm, things that are a little bit of colour, medicinal plants, and they'll also attract pollinators. So that might look okay with a little sort of bed along the front like that. But that won't be today. I want to try and get the weed membrane spread back out and the stones right back out, and try and clear this bench. So I've cleared off the bench top. Looks like the back corner of me, one of my pallets is pretty rotten. I think right in the very corner where the metal base is above the wooden one, there's a slight gap, and it must drip in there, and I bet it's been dripping on that corner of the pallet for the last sort of 10 years, and it's just rotted it away. Them rats, I think there were hybrid rats that were in here mixed with borrowers, because all kinds of bits I found under there. Hose connectors and the W clips for the greenhouse. Lots of plant labels. One of the mice traps that disappeared, or rat traps. And lots of chewed corn cobs, dried up chewed corn cobs. So they're obviously nicking the corn cobs and bringing them back in here to feast on. So just going to peel this back a little bit, sort of settle the, like I have sort of there, just level it. I want the sort of subsoil level with the bottom of the wood, or just under it, so it's not really in direct contact with the wood if I can help it. And then I'll tamp it down a bit. I'll push the membrane back and rake all the gravel back level. It's amazing how it gets all lumpy, and you know, where the main little L shape is that I sort of walk in and out, that's all sort of sunk and trampled in, whereas the outsides that have all stayed fairly level where the pots were. So I shall carry on with this for a bit longer. Not quite sure what to do about that now. I'll turn it round. I'll probably have to make a packer or something to go in one corner. I need the bench and the height for the liquid. Obviously for the hydroponics has got to be, well, it doesn't have to be, but it's best if it's higher, and it's handy having a bit of a potting bench kind of thing. Anyway, bring you back shortly. Bit after 6:30 at the minute. The sun's still reasonably high in the sky. I don't know if you actually see that. Still flooded out there on the road to some extent. It's actually just very dark blue or dark grey skies. That'll be north of me, I think. I'm not sure. This is the still not sure what these are. They're looking a bit like leeks, to be honest. This was one of the ones that was in the greenhouse over winter that the rats pretty much, or didn't do too much digging in. So they're nicely growing away. Rhubarb still sat in that puddle, but it's happy there for the minute. I need to fill that channel back in. I might just open these back up a little bit and see if I can sink the tiles a tiny bit deeper, so they're more or less level with the ledge, or the base ledge of the greenhouse. See that, what you can see, that split there, that's probably what's happened on the other corner where it was leaking in and saturated that wood, so it's rotted. I might see if I can put a bit of duct tape or something over that and cover them up. Won't be today, but that window's opening and closing funny. I think it's catching on the roof panel I made. I'll have to try and see if I can get some proper 4mm polycarbonate twin wall. It went sort of scarce and extremely expensive during lockdown, and prices haven't really gone back to what they were yet. So it's relatively cheap for one sheet, but it's a fortune in post and packing. So it's probably as cheap to buy like 10 sheets for the same post and packing and have some spares. Anyway, I'll worry about that another day. Glad I was in the greenhouse then. Just had a, nearly all melted now, just had a hailstorm. So like 1/4 inch ice crystals come pelting down. Amazing, it's still like nice and blue over there, but that's the storm cloud. I don't know what direction that is. I think that's south, I'm not sure. I think I'm a bit sort of skew width here, but it's pretty nasty and grey, but hopefully it's heading away from me. So can't believe what time it is, nearly 10 to 8 now, so that'll do for the time being. I might rake it a bit leveler another day. Got it all sort of back in, got the pallets back in, but I've put the knackered corner to the front so I can just wedge something under that. And I've not pushed them underneath the overhang of the base so they shouldn't get dripped on. Brought my chair back in, that needs to dry out. So these are the strawberries I got. These on the right are called, well, I think they're called Colossus. They have a short fruiting season, but they grow absolute monster strawberries. Sweet Colossus. Frangaria Ananas Sweet Colossus. And these others are just called Summer Sweet. These are more like what they call bare rooted ones, so typically you soak them for 24 hours. I've just dropped them in some cells so they're stood upright. They'll be going in like hydroponic kind of pots, a few clay pebbles or something, so they can recover in there for a day or two. Get the hydroponic thing on the end of the side of my shed cleaned out and ready to go again. That is still running, that solar panel is still charging the battery a bit, so it probably needs a slightly bigger panel and a better battery. I'll sort that out. May end up running it all off one battery in this new panel when I rig that up. So I'm going to need to sort this IBC tank out next, because I want that level and all cleaned up and the gutter thing in it properly. This has got a bit of green algae and stuff in it. The black curtain is hopefully to extrude. That's a trampoline base. That's to exclude the brightest sunlight. There's obviously sunlight on a clear tank of water will cause algae. So where the sort of sun mainly hits it, that covers that side. That needs sorting out and levelling up. I might put the tap around the other side or out onto the path, we'll see. It's always been a little bit awkward getting to in there. But there's a couple of like flagstones down under there and like brick pillars, so it's just a pallet or the wooden base that needs replacing. I might get some more of these same wood as the base of this greenhouse and make a frame up. But I'd like to do that as I want to mount the solar panel on the top of that, sort of about 30 degrees. It'll be a little bit more disguised then. I'm not saying anybody would come in and steal it, but you never know. So I'm going to wrap up for today, put my tools away, and I can start thinking about, if you can see it in the picture, that orange pipe, getting some measurements and cutting that. I've got the elbows and the T and that's still in the back of the car. I need to take a few measurements, decide exactly what I'm doing, how many plant holes I'm putting in it, etc. And I can start looking at making up the 12 volt sort of electronic controls for it. So thanks for watching. That's it for today. I'll catch you next time.